Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Elizabeth, and today I'm going to be talking about the amazing Alex Hormozi. So he has just exploded recently, but he has been putting in the time and the effort behind the scenes for years and years, and now all this hard work is just being magnified and 10x and 10x and 10x. So he is an incredible businessman. He has a interesting story if you want to learn more about it. But he was a consultant after college, and he went to Vanderbilt, and he got like this really great job, and his dad was so proud of him, and he was on the right track, but he just was miserable. He was so depressed, and he didn't like his life, and he was not happy. And eventually he was very influenced by his father, his Iranian father, and he was so scared. He'd always like want to do it, but then he'd get talked out of doing it, and they'd want to do it and get talked out of doing it. But eventually he drove across the country, didn't tell his dad, and they called his dad halfway across the country like, "Dad, I'm doing this. I'm moving out. I'm going to start a gym. I'm going to own my own business." And his dad's like, "Come over, let's talk." He's like, "I'm halfway across the country." And his dad's like, "What?" And he freaked out. But Alex was brave enough, and he took that step, and he left his really well-paying job and the potential to just have a secure life. And he left and went out to LA, and he started his gym businesses, which eventually became Gym Launch, which he eventually helped other gyms go ahead and be successful, get more business, get more revenue, etc. And he went and started all of those around the world and helped other gyms. He partnered up with his now wife, Leila Hormozi. They met on a dating app, and they have been an unstoppable power couple. I'm definitely going to be doing a video on Leila Hormozi as well, so stay tuned for that, because she is critical and it's been essential to his success. It's not just him, and she really believed in him when they had nothing and they lost like everything. So it's super cool watching his journey. He has so much free education online, and he really wants to make business accessible to everyone, and so feel free to check out his channel, or he's on social media pretty much everywhere. So if you're interested, go ahead and check him out. But today I'm going to talk about some of the lessons that I've learned, and so I hope they can be helpful to you. Let's do it. So one thing that I've learned from Alex is that nothing exceptional takes little time. You need to put in countless hours and time to achieve success. So put in the time and be present and be persistent. So on any journey, I know even with some goals, the goals that I have, I'm like, it's going to take time. And so you have to put in the time. You can't just fast forward and get there. You have to put in the laborious and the hard and the tedious work. And so Alex says you have to put in the time. He put his podcast out for many years until eventually it became one of the top 10 business podcasts out there. But he was doing videos for years until he got there. And so put in the time, put in the effort, eventually you'll get there. Just like he was in personal training and working with people and helping them be healthier. Like, you don't just eat a salad and you're good. You don't just do a workout or 2 workouts or work out for a week or 2 and you're good. You have to put in the time and be consistent. And so I think that is a helpful tip for anyone with any goal that you have in your life. Number 2 is the more you do, the more you realize you can do. When you do things and you take action on those things, you will be surprised with how much you can actually handle. It builds confidence. If you're trying to build confidence, go out and do the thing. And so this has been really helpful for me. So the more that I've tried things, the more I put myself out there, even with YouTube, the more I've tried and made more videos, the better things have gone, the more I've learned. I still have so much to learn, but take action. I'm taking action. And so he really emphasizes doing the thing. We could sit there and learn and learn. I could read about it and read about it and read about it. But the best way to learn is to do it. He says that for sales, he said one of the best things you can do is just make 10,000 cold calls. You're going to learn more from those 10,000 cold calls than a Harvard MBA, he says. And so put yourself out there, take the actions. Eventually, you will figure things out and you'll get better just by doing the thing. Number 3, so something else that has been really helpful is if you want to achieve a goal or be successful, you have to be willing to do a lot of inputs without getting a result, right? So you can't just eat one salad and then see success, right? You can't just do one workout or even do a couple weeks of doing those things and just see immediate results. You have to keep going and be willing to do the thing. Alex Hormozi, he had his podcast and he put it out and for years until eventually just now he's starting to just super explode. And so it's the same thing with a diet. It's the same thing with any goal or thing that you have in your life. You have to be willing to do the actions and to keep going over time, and eventually you will get there. So if you really want the goal, you have to stay committed. Even if you don't see the results, you have to trust in the compound effect and know that eventually you're just going to skyrocket and it will be worth it. Number 4 is the work needs doing, even if the work isn't fun. So if you want to achieve success and if you want to achieve your goal, you have to do the work, even if it's not fun. So there's certain things that just are probably not enjoyable, usually in a goal, and especially if it's something that might be challenging, or maybe like you're trying to exercise more, but you haven't in a while. It's going to be hard at first. I know even me getting back into my exercise routine, it wasn't as easy as it used to be, and it was a little frustrating, but I'm like, I have to keep going because it will get easier eventually as I get stronger and as my body gets more adjusted to the new level of inputs that I'm putting in. So keep going, don't get frustrated, and keep moving forward. 5, I found this one interesting, is that 20 hours of concentrated effort is actually where people learn the most. So there is the rule of 100 or 10,000 hours, and you might have heard of that, but really 20 hours, if you spend 20 hours with something or trying to learn something, you're going to know a lot, and you're going to know more than most of the population on it. So 20 hours really isn't that much time, even if, especially if you spread it out over the week or a couple of weeks, and you will know a lot more than you think. So spend the time, put the time in. If there's something that you're interested in, or if you think will help you in your life or in your business or whatever, spend the time. And if you get 20 hours in, you're going to know a lot. Number 6, this is great, is so too often we take years to act and we just delay what we could have in our lives. So take action now. So I love this one. This is so true. I can think about things, and in the past, like I would think about things, but I wouldn't necessarily do things or try things. But if you have an idea and you don't think it's that crazy, or if you are able to maybe take action, like try it. It never hurts to try it. You will never know if it could be a ticket to success. It could totally change your life. It could improve your life. It could improve someone else's life, but take action. The sooner, the better, and you will be rewarded. Number 7 is that our current lives are based on our current thinking. And so if you don't like something in your life, you need to figure out what you need to learn to get there. So it's kind of like this ignorance debt that he talks about. And so we are paying this ignorance debt. Like if you want to make $1 million and you make $50,000, you're paying $950,000 in ignorance debt for not knowing how to make $1 million. And so really, this is just about also your current thinking. So I know I did a video on like expanding your thinking and trying to get in different paradigms and stuff. Like, what do you believe right now that maybe actually isn't true? And so trying to challenge yourself and trying to expand and grow is really going to help you. And so stop being stuck in your own brain and try to learn from other people and see if it can help you get out of your box and step into the next level and the next person that you can be. Number 8, sales is important. And so Alex is another guy that someone tried to get him into sales, and he's like, yeah, that's not for me. A lot of successful people, it's interesting, like even Grant Cardone, he didn't want to be in sales and he eventually did. Like everything is sales. And so if you want to be successful, you really need to learn sales. And so how to market yourself, how to market a product, etc., and how to sell. And so that's a super valuable skill. He has so many videos on that. If you're interested, feel free to check it out. Number 9. So in life and in your success, I think this is a theme that's come up. Play the long game. Playing the long game is critical. And so if you can expand your time horizon for things, like if you're willing to get something in a longer period of time, maybe 5 years, 10 years, instead of just, oh, I want it in a month or 2 months, then you probably will be more successful and you probably will achieve the success that you want. So be willing to expand your time horizon and be willing to play the long game, right? And so know, like, if you want to have a good reputation, you're going to not try to make the quick buck. You're going to stay committed to your goals and your values, even if it takes longer or even if you can't make that quick buck, because you know that in the long run, your reputation and being a good person and being forthright and loyal and trustworthy is important. So you're going to do the right things right now. Number 10, Alex is amazing at this, and he gives value for free and he serves. And so he knows that eventually certain people will go to his business. He's trying to find businesses to acquire. He owns acquisition.com right now. And so he's trying to find these really good businesses, but otherwise he just wants to serve and get this information out there. It's something he's super passionate about. And so he does it. He does it for free. And he says the more that you offer things for free, the better that life will be and your business will be. And so give, serve. How can you give more in your life and how can you serve other people? Number 12. So if you aren't achieving your goals, you just need to do more outputs and reps. So we talked about when he was doing some of his videos or something like that, people, or putting out flyers for his business. That's what it was. And he's like, oh, I put out all these flyers. And then his mentor was like, how many did you put out? Because he's like, I put out all the flyers that you told me to, and it didn't work. Your method didn't work. And he was kind of annoyed and frustrated. His mentor's like, dude, how many did you put out? And he was like, 500. He was like, we put 5,000 out a day or something like that. And he's like, got it. I did not put out enough. So putting more outputs, it's the same thing. The more days that you eat healthy, the more changes you're going to see. If you weight lift for a long period of time, consistently over time, you're going to start seeing that muscle build. If you learn a little bit of math every single day, you're eventually going to know a lot of math or calculus, whatever you're working on. So put in the outputs and put in the time so that you will eventually get that skill. Number 13, this is a lesson that Alex had to learn. Don't spread yourself too thin. And so he had so many businesses at the beginning, and Leila was like, dude, you have so many businesses, like, and you're the CEO. Like, it wasn't like he had a bunch of businesses or was an investor or something, and then he had CEOs of each. He was the CEO of all these businesses. It's like, oh my gosh, how are you going to make this successful if you're in charge of all of these? Like, you need to like imagine how much more successful you would be if you had all of your time and energy into one thing. And he's like, oh, shoot. And so he ended up putting his time and energy into one, and then he started seeing success. And then it's just only rippled and snowballed from there. So I know it can be so exciting. I know I'm like, idea. And there is truth to growth and expansion, but you really have to have a mastery of one area first, and then you can build out. Okay. So just be mindful of that. 14, you want to build a great team and a great partnership. And so Leila is awesome about the people side of things. So I highly recommend her. I'm definitely going to be doing a video soon, but build a good team around you. I know even his teammate, his wife, like they worked really hard to be in alignment, and they're very aligned. He could have chosen whatever partner he wanted, but he found someone who really aligned with him and his values and his goals and with the life he wanted to live. And so he also has different mentors or friends, Dr. Kashi, and different people that he really respects. And people that are on their team that can do their job well. Of course, do they hire everyone perfectly? No. But at the end of the day, you need a strong team and a strong family to support you. Number 15, this is one phrase that he said and story that really made a difference in my life on my journey, was just, this is what hard feels like. Like, it's so simple, but he talks about when he was in a fraternity and he was the president, and then all these brothers, they were like so excited and partying and drinking, and that's totally not my scene, but this is just the example. And that's what they wanted to do. But then the next day they had to like clean up everything and do all this stuff, and all the brothers were like, this is horrible, this sucks, like, why do we have to do this? And he's like, let me just approach it this way. Hey guys, like, how many of you thought this would be easy and like becoming a part of the fraternity eventually and being a pledge? And they're like, no one raised their hand. He's like, exactly. This is what hard feels like. Okay. And so then it gave them permission to feel crappy. And it's like, this is what hard feels like. You hear that, oh yeah, I could do hard things, I could do this, but it's like, can you? Have you felt the hard? Have you felt those emotions? Have you felt these things? Like, that is what hard feels like. So give yourself permission and tell yourself that this is just part of it. I think if you know it's just part of it, it's part of the price that you have to pay to get what you want, then it's a lot easier to pay that price. Number 16. So I really like this. He kind of has a stoic attitude towards stuff. It's like, things don't have to mean anything. It can just be what it is. Like, it is what it is. Like, it just is. Not it is what it is, but it just is. And so I think this is helpful because sometimes things just are. It's like, okay, we don't have to ascribe value or meaning to it unless we choose to. And so sometimes it just is, and that's all it needs to be. Number 17 is to build a foundation. So if you want any type of success or anything, you need to have a foundational set of principles, values, habits, skills, and then you can stack, right? So he talks about that with skills and building certain skills, and then you can stack. If you build a team, you can start building, expanding out. But you have to have the solid foundation. Even with health, you have to have these healthy habits, these healthy routines, and then you can go from there. Number 19 is to create the vision that you have for yourself. And so don't let other people detract from your vision, and don't let other people control you. So he was controlled by his dad, and he really respected his dad. But at the end of the day, he had to go with his own vision, and he had to create the life that he wanted for himself. So if you're struggling, if you are being held back by other people or their opinions or their goals for your life, like, I understand if you respect them or that, but take a look. What do you really want? Does that really align with you? And go for what you want. I think you will be happier for it in the long run. Lastly, it's okay to work hard. So people give him a hard time for that they work so hard and they're working all the time. He's like, dude, this is what I love to do. This is what I want to do. And so why can't I do it? And so the balance thing, and even if you do, they don't have kids right now and things, but if you have kids, or if you have your spouse, or you have multiple things that are going on, like, balance isn't always just this perfect even thing. Like, even right now, I've been recording some videos, and it's just time to work on some of my passion projects and working on recording videos. And I'm not spending time with my son. But then there's weekends where my husband is supporting my stepson, or just other things are going up, and I am spending every minute of every day with him, like the full 24 hours. And it's awesome. And a little bit after a couple hours, then we'll have the rest of the day together. And that's just what it is. And so balance doesn't have to be this perfectly balanced thing. And also, who cares? If you are enjoying it, like if you enjoy working, if you enjoy doing those things, then go for it. It doesn't matter. No one else has to live your life. And so that's another thing too they talk about, is live the life that you want, and don't let other people ascribe meaning or value to it or tell you it's wrong or right. If it works for you, if it works for your partner, if it works for your family, then it works, and stick to it. All right, those were some lessons from Alex Hormozi and some things that I've taken away from just watching some of his content and his videos. Feel free to check out his page. Let me know if you want more information from Alex, or just more tips and tricks. I'm happy to share more. I definitely have a lot. He has taught me a lot. So let me know in the comments below what you think. What did you take away? Have you heard of Alex Hormozi? Definitely look more into him and let me know in the comments below. Feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe for more on working on improving yourself, learning from other people, and living a happier and healthier life. So thank you so much for being here. I will see you in the next video. You've got this. Bye, guys.